Section F. Failure to establish knowledge, willful intent, or value, the core of RICO and TVPA charges. The government's theory of the case collapses under its own contradictions. The prosecution predicates its RICO and TVPA claims on the existence of a longstanding, structured criminal enterprise, yet has failed to establish any continuity of criminal conduct, coordinated intent, or benefit to any party beyond personal gratification. There is no evidence that the alleged sex trafficking produced financial value or enterprise-wide benefit. Without value, there is no enterprise. Without shared intent, there is no conspiracy. Miss Ventura's own testimony, even if accepted as true in its most emotionally compelling form, admits that she made no disclosures to others, friends, colleagues, associates, regarding her alleged status as a sex worker or victim of trafficking. She gave the outward impression of a successful entertainer, model, and public figure, not someone under the control of a coercive criminal network. This is not a technical detail. It is the linchpin of both RICO and sex trafficking claims. For there to be a conspiracy, other parties must know of the criminal activity, intend to participate, and derive value from it. In this case, there is no indication that anyone beyond Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs even understood any sexual activity to be transactional, because, per her own words, she never told anyone. That alone renders the government's theory untenable. Indeed, if the alleged victim was never treated as a sex worker, never identified herself as such, and never alerted others to criminal exploitation, then no other party could have knowingly participated in her trafficking. The core legal threshold under both RICO and TVPA, knowledge and willful participation, cannot be met when the primary witness herself concealed the very acts the government now claims constitute federal crimes. By her own design, the charade was complete. There is no conspiracy in a vacuum. There is no RICO predicate in secrecy. Moreover, the prosecution's claim of drug trafficking collapses similarly under scrutiny. Miss Ventura has offered no testimony, nor has the government produced evidence showing that Mr. Combs or any associated individual distributed narcotics knowingly, intentionally, or for criminal profit. No drug enterprise was identified. No ledger, communication, or third-party cooperation supports this allegation. The suggestion of drug distribution is speculative and prejudicial, not evidentiary. The kidnapping theory, similarly, fails the test of law and reason. For federal kidnapping to apply, movement across state lines must occur with force, fraud, or coercion, and with a sustained deprivation of liberty. Miss Ventura herself has admitted that these alleged freak-off events occurred only intermittently, 5 to 6 times per year, and that she traveled for personal reasons, enjoyed vacations, and returned to public life between events. Federal trafficking statutes require continuity and constraint, not episodic encounters. There is no trafficking statute under which layovers, breaks, or days off are consistent with victimization. Trafficking is not a reward system. It is defined by force, fraud, or coercion without voluntary reentry into the circumstances. That is not the case here. Even the infamous videotaped altercation, shocking and condemnable as it may be, does not establish RICO predicate acts. At most, it could be characterized as an individual act of assault or domestic violence, not proof of a coordinated enterprise. Furthermore, any theory that posits a criminal organization must also identify value extraction. What value did anyone receive from the alleged trafficking of Miss Ventura? If there was no profit, no third-party knowledge, and no criminal intent shared by others, there is no conspiracy, just a tragic and perhaps toxic personal relationship. This court must resist the temptation to substitute emotional appeal for legal sufficiency. Prosecutorial overreach does not become justifiable simply because it evokes public sympathy. Miss Ventura may be deserving of compassion, but compassion cannot substitute for conspiracy. The prosecution's attempt to reverse engineer a racketeering conspiracy from isolated acts and retrospective interpretations should be rejected. In conclusion, the charges against Mr. Combs rely on a fantastical and unprovable assertion that an invisible, unacknowledged, unprofitable enterprise of sex trafficking existed around a woman who kept her alleged status secret. Such a structure is incompatible with the statutory and constitutional demands of RICO and TVPA. Without proof of knowledge, without proof of willful participation, and without proof of value, the indictment fails. The court must not allow silence to be retroactively interpreted as conspiracy.